Welcome, all my people. The Overland Hills Podcast, Episode 1. We here, it's Issa Gold, got my boy Alan behind the motherfucking camera. And we filming Episode 1. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have all different types of shit on this podcast. Stories, experiences, drug experiences, conspiracies. Banter. You niggas know what banter means? It's a different word for a conversation and shit like that. All different types of things will be discussed on here. Anything you want to discuss, you guys send me it. We'll discuss it on here. Sports, aliens, whatever's necessary. But I'm also going to give you guys stories as we get closer to the Tempest release. Different breakdowns of how we got to where we at, what songs mean what, etc., etc. Maybe there's some guests. We'll see what's going on. But look. So today's episode, we're going to start the inception of my career into the music industry. You feel me? How did I get here? Which is nowhere, but wherever you want to consider here. How did I become a musician? Because a lot of you know I wasn't trying to be no musician nigga. But now we musicians, we rappers, we poets, we do things like this. This is what's going on. So this is what we're going to talk about today. It's the inception. How the Underachievers start. How do we get to here? The solo career. And this podcast. But here, all right, so we starting. How did I meet my boy AK? I had met my friend who would become my future friend. This kid named Jacob. I had went to buy some weed from a weed dealer one day, our neighborhood weed dealer. And I see this kid, and I'm just looking at him. At the time, me and my friend Juice, you guys know Juice, we were psychedelic warriors to the maximum. I could just tell at the time if someone was like interested in like psychedelics or doing it. You just could tell. Like you can still tell now, but like everyone does it, so it's a little harder. But at the time, I seen this kid who was there going to buy weed. I'm like, look at this fucking weirdo. He definitely does psychedelics. He turns out to be my friend Jacob. So I start talking to this kid. We start talking about psychedelics. He's like, yeah, I used to coincidentally go to school with Juice in elementary school. I'm like, wow, that's my best friend on the planet. And so he's like, yo, bro, we all got a link. So fast forward, we go to Link at his man's crib. His man's turned to be Ock. So now we in Ock's crib, and Ock was neighborhood dude that I've seen around and shit, but I didn't really know much about him. But at the time, no one was doing psychedelics. So me, Juice, and Jacob in the living room, like little scientists talking about psychedelics, like, yeah, we must do them. And Ock walks into the room, and he's like, I want to try. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, I want to try. So we're like, okay. Well, fast forward, we become really good friends, as you can suspect. We linked up and we were inseparable pretty much, became best friends. So now Ak was a rapper at the time. I had never had rap aspirations. I honestly didn't even really look at the rap industry as something that I would want to indulge in or be a part of, or even with anything with music. My friend Alan behind the camera, he already knows what I'm talking about. There was no rap world and none of that type of shit. If niggas thought of me, they would think of some psychedelic shit. And so I never thought about doing it, but I was really into psychedelics and enlightening the generation and saving the world and these types of things. And me and Juice were like really passionate about that at the time when we were really young. And so I had read this book, Celestine Prophecy, which is just ironic because I was reading all these wild, crazy, sick, weird-ass books, and this simple-ass, terribly written book, like, changed my life. It set me on this path, because I was just crying every day. I was with Ak every day, and I would just be crying, like, oh, my God, the world's going to end. What are we going to do about it? I don't know what to do. And fucking eventually, I was just like, yo, we have to take this message that we have to, like, the world. Like, they must know what we know. And, the original plan was for me to manage my friend AK. Like, I was actually his manager for like a week or two. And I wasn't doing shit, but like that was the plan. And my friends around us, like my friend behind the camera, my friend Fury, and this producer that Ak was working with was like, yo, you should try to rap. This might be a thing for you. And I was like, I don't know if I'm trying to rap or whatever, but part of me obviously was like, oh, rap. I want to try, but I was mad afraid because I saw it as like hitting the lottery. So what we did was, I was like, all right, I'll rap, but we have to like follow this strict plan of like studying shit and like figuring this shit out correctly. So I hope to like help you guys out more with shit like that. But um I started to like study like other rap artists and see like what was the things that made them successful and shit. And I was looking at ASAP Rocky, fucking Tyler the Creator, Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller, um, a bunch of others. But what I noticed was like, yo, all these people are like targeting the demographic directly that they want to, even if they know it or not. Like that's just what's going on. So I was like, I'm trying to find people like us in the world, like only. I don't give a fuck about anyone else in terms of like touching it with the music. I just want to find the kids, the disheveled, not disheveled, but the rejected, different, weirdo feeling kids who like just felt disconnected from the society around them. And so I was like, that's what I'm gonna rap for. That's what I'm gonna target. And I learned about this indigo shit when I was younger through like schools thought I had ADHD for a while. I know a lot of you guys went through that dumb shit, and it got ruled out through like my mom took me to like psychotherapists, like I would say psychotherapists, but like psychologists to like get me an IQ test and get me to like take tests based on to see if I have ADHD, and all of them ruled it out. They were just like, yo, we just gotta give it more work. But through like studying ADD and trying to debunk the shit, I found this indigo shit down the rabbit hole of the internet. And I was like, oh nah, this is me. And my mission is to tell everyone who I see who's like me, this is them too. So now fast forward to the music part. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do with music because it's the universal language, easiest way to get your shit out. I was in college at the time studying social sciences, and I was like, this is going to be too slow. The world's going to end too fast. We got to talk to these niggas this way. So that was the plan, was to target a specific demographic. We got the beats from Mark Casso, and I was like, yo, if this first song doesn't work, I'm never making music again. And so we shot this video. I directed. Niggas don't know I was directing videos. I directed the first video, So Devilish. And yeah, that shit took off instantaneously. And before I knew it, I was forced into a rap career. And so now this leaves us at a perfect position. Because that's where, if a lot of you remember real early inside of my career, I was ready to retire. It's because I was like at a crossroad of like, yo, am I doing what's destined for me? Like we have this word, my friends. This word, destiny. What does it mean? And this was a dilemma for me at this time because I was like, yo, my whole life I thought I was destined to like get my degree, write books, and like contribute to the social science part of the world and helping mankind. But now life has steered me to this rap career, and like, is this my destiny? When I never wanted to be a rapper. But when it started to work, I was like, I'm not trying to be a rapper, go around, tour, which I love doing, like fans and the whole rap game type shit. It just was like scaring me away, and I'm like, yo, this is not my destiny. And so hence we come to Tempest, because in the process of thinking about destiny, I was growing up and my mind started to shift from like the psychedelic thoughts to more like concrete things. And I started to think about time. We're going to have a lot of episodes on time. But time, what is time? How does it affect who we are? You see, because destiny is based on time. It's a future, right? Your destiny is based on your future. Were you destined to do this? This is your future. This is what you're supposed to do. And future is a construct of time, based on time, past, future, present. And it got me thinking, like, was I destined for something? And that's where the thought of Tempest came from. That's why the inception of the name was so long ago. It was like right after that, like 2014, 15. And so when I started to think about Tempest, I started to think about like time and like, how does time affect us as humans? What is time? Is it even a real thing? It's just a construct, a figment of our imagination to explain the moments that exist. And what I realized is time is an illusion. There really is no past or present. There really is just the present, current moment. So with Tempest, I started to study time and watch how the world around us evolved by patterns, and how, the illusion that they tell us, well, not illusion, but I also was speaking on this shit, the law of attraction. What is that? Is that a real thing? Like, my mom gave me this book when I was like 11 or 12 called The Secret. And it was about the law of attraction. And it said, if you think about things, you can create it in the world. And I realized this is not real. This is only the first step. This law of attraction thing that we talk about all the time. There's common knowledge now. When I was younger, this shit was fucking bullshit to people. Like when I would say to people, it was like magic. But I realized us telling people about the law of attraction is bullshit. There's only the moment. You see this moment. Actually, we'll get into it right now. You see this moment that we have here. There's only the moment that we're living in. I talked to some people about this over the past 5 years trying to figure it out. But I know this is certain. There's only this moment that we live in. And you control the moment. And in controlling the moment that you're in, this is a theory I have. You are creating your reality. You see, I can pick this glass up for the podcast so you can't see that, throw it on the ground. I can kill everyone in my house right now. Whatever I want, I'm in control of the moment as far as my 5 senses can go. And so in control of the moment, I create my reality. So now if I'm able to control every single moment, we then are in control of our realities. And in controlling that reality, you're creating the destiny. So now we could go deeper than this, but that's not where we're going today. That's not today's episode. So I'm studying all this time shit, and then studying all this shit. I came with the concept for Tempest, and right now we're in 2020. Very weird year where a lot of things collapsed in life for me. A lot of things. We'll get into all those things. Emotionally, relationship things, entering into new relationships, leaving old relationships from friends to whatever the hell you could think about. And it was the perfect time to like dive back in because like at the same time last year I learned some shit about time and destiny that just not even learned, just from all these studies I was doing over the past like 5 years. I finally came to a conclusion, which is crazy because after that conclusion, so many things changed in life. But that's why Tempest started to be written. And in trying to write an album about time and destiny and the past and the present and all these different things that I've been thinking about, which we'll speak about in other episodes. Trust me, we're going to get deep. So in trying to write an album about time, all these different emotions came out without even me attempting to have them come out from pain to depression to regret to envy, patience to love to getting over to moving forward to going backwards. All these emotions are able to come out, and addiction was one that stood very strong. And so when I started writing for Tempest again, Underwater is one of the first songs that I wrote, produced by my friend King Jet and Chuck Strangers and Shuiz. And like when I wrote that song, it's like something that I'm struggling with right now, just addiction and dealing with shit like that. And like that's why that opening line and shit ain't getting me high no more, and dealing with friends who like you fucked with for years that you might not fuck with anymore, or fuck with the same way, or old relationships. I went through a breakup, and like those emotions being inside of there. And so that's where that song came from. Like, took my cross, redemption in my heart, you praying for my loss, I pray you go far. It's a song about addiction and getting over that, and forgiveness, honestly. Like you know, you might hate someone or went through some crazy shit with someone, and like you have to like forgive them for whatever they did to you in order for you to get by. You guys know that whole shit. And so that's what Underwater is for me. It's like a relief song, a forgiveness song, a getting by song, a song that represents who I am in terms of emotionally, and what I know a lot of you guys are going through in terms of your emotions and your feelings towards shit. Yeah, that's Underwater, and the Underwater name comes from the feeling of drowning, as if like you have no way out. And that's how 2020 even feels, like channeling those emotions as well. I feel like there's no way out, or like having everything change in front of you. And now you feel like if you're drowning with just the way life goes, just emotionally being stuck inside. And the transition from like understanding that even though I didn't think I was going to be a rapper, that's who I am in terms of a musician. And all those realizations, like this year, like cumulated into like that song Underwater, like the moving forward concept, the getting over concept, the forgiveness concept, the forgiving yourself. You know what I mean? You can feel like you're drowning, and sometimes you have to just forgive yourself for certain things sometimes. So those lyrics mean a lot to me, like who I am and the concept of Tempest. There's other songs in there, but that was one of my favorite, if not actually my favorite song. It's just so hard to pick one right now, but it's been my favorite song. People told me to put out other songs first, but that's the song I specifically wanted to put out. And the ending part, I jumped off the bridge to try and swim to the shore. That whole stuff is about me like coming to terms with drowning, or coming to terms with being in the water and kind of rising above that. And there's a lot of concepts like this on Tempest, and I'm going to go through all of them and explain them. But Underwater is about getting through, moving forward, forgiving people who you might not feel fond of, or might have hurt you, or might have done things to you in your life. It's about forgiveness for yourself, things that you've done to yourself, or places that you've been, and about getting out of that drowning feeling of being underwater and feeling these emotions of defeat. I know, because 2020 has been painful. And so, yeah, one of the things that I plan to probably put the link somewhere is to have these canvases like that I'm going to do, handwritten, numbered, 100 each, of different sizes, one of the chorus and one of the actual song, Underwater. And I'm going to hand write out the lyrics in some paint, design it up, number them, and sign them to whoever like is making the purchases, and get them out to you guys. And I think that's just something dope to have on the wall, because these lyrics on this album are so important to me. I find myself speaking on some of the lyrics, like just like if someone says something to me like, oh, this happened, a lyric from Tempest or Underwater would just pop in my head. And so I think it would be dope just to keep writing out these canvases with personalized like things to you guys, in terms of like funny drawings, and just putting you guys' names on it, and actually having these lyrics that mean a lot to me, something you guys can hang on your wall on like some canvas type situation. So yeah, look out for that as well. But yeah, we have new music coming. Listen to Conversation with a Butterfly, and we're gonna dive into it after this with more episode 2s. We're gonna talk about more things, more experiences, pick up on the time stuff, the destiny stuff, the next songs on Tempest, some more story times, some more questionnaires, some more explanations, some more things on Underwater. So this was the first episode. It was fun. I'm getting used to it, and we're gonna have a lot of things coming, man. I can keep going. I'm gonna give you some things to think about here at the end of this thing. Forgiveness. How do you feel about forgiveness? Forgiving yourself. It's one of the hardest things in life is to have accountability, or to have the inside thought to see where you went wrong and not blame everyone outside. Because sometimes we want to blame things externally for our problems. And it's like sometimes you got to forgive yourself and move forward. You got to forgive your parents for shit they did. That's what Underwater represents. That's what those lyrics represent. You have to forgive yourself sometimes. Forgive an ex, someone you've dated, an old friend, someone that you know is hating on you or wishes harm on you. You ain't got to feel those same emotions. And that's why those lyrics are so important to me. That's where the underwater concept comes from, is that drowning feeling. One way you're going to come to shore, one way you're going to swim up out the water is if you let go. You got to move forward. You see, in time, we get caught up in the past and the present, the past and the future. Like, these things don't exist anymore. The past happened. We have to move forward. The future doesn't exist yet. We have to create it. And so if you dwell on these past emotions that you have towards people or yourself, You can't move forward. You living in the past. I deal with this. I don't know. I haven't mastered these things. I'm still trying to master these types of things, living in the moment and capturing the moment and seizing the moment. Because shit, if I spent every waking second of my life trying to accomplish something, I would accomplish anything I want. But the hardest part is grasping those minutes and not dealing with past addictions or past emotions or fear of what your future holds. Like, oh, am I supposed to be this or that? No, you got to just capture the moment and stare it. You decide what you're going to be. You decide where you go next. That's the creating of the reality that we've spoken about, that I feel like it's so vaguely explained now, where it's like, yeah, just think it and you get it. Like, yeah, thoughts started, but you really got to go get it. Really, you could be the best person on the planet. I could have all the potential. You can have all the potential, but if you're not applying it every day, which I'm still learning to do, I'm not no professional at none of that shit. But if you can learn to apply yourself every day, you literally can create reality. Like, we'll get more into it. I explain it even more. But yeah, that's Underwater. It is my favorite song on the album, actually. I know it is. It's just that, Boys Don't Cry, and Envy are my 3 favorite songs, and Patience, because they have such a deep meaning to them, and Regret. Oh man, I love the album, man. They're all such good songs in terms of like how I was able to step up my rap skills. So yeah, Underwater, first song. Canvases will be available. Yeah, I just got more content coming for you guys. I'm trying to do more vlogs, blogs, podcasts, 2-3 a week, fucking Instagram, those types of things. I'm trying to just engage in the same way that I originally accepted the idea of being a rapper, of targeting the demographic that just like me. Like, I really would rather talk to 10,000 of you guys who are diehard fans over a million people who might just like a song or two, which is fine. I enjoy talking to people too, but my concentration should be on those who like I want to see progress with me and grow with me, etc., etc. And so yeah, next episode we'll get into Underachievers. What's next there? Some more Tempest, some more time stuff. So what helped me with writing was hanging out with Chuck, strangers, and learning more about introspective writing and writing about my experiences. And with this album, I wanted to show more vulnerability and transparency. I feel like a lot of the music, because I was younger and the mindset that I had, it came from like this condescending perspective of like, we're better than you guys and you got to figure it out. And with this album, I want to like equal the playing fields and have you guys understand that like, no, I'm just like you guys, and I have these experiences and I go through these things of addiction or pain or depression or just relationship problems or any problem that we go through. Like, I go through them, and I wanted to like humanize myself instead of having this God perspective that we kind of have had for so long. As I've gotten older, I realized like I'm not so much into the 5th dimensional astral world of like things, even though that's still in me. I've tried to find the rational and like the mathematical and scientific backing to the experiences that I had when I was younger. And over the past 10 years, I've been studying that and becoming more grounded in that and learning more about writing and more about earthly experiences instead of trying to deal with the 5th dimension and these types of things. Like, it's like there's a lot of things going on our planet that we have to focus on. There's a lot of things that we could learn from that happened. Like, why try and figure out like who built the fucking pyramids? Like, that shit happened. It's the past. Like, whatever. Let's figure out what's in the moment. Why try and figure out who's gonna do this in the future? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we have to focus on the moment. We have to focus on conquering the moments that we're in, and the people who do figure it out are the ones that are the most successful or go the furthest, because they're spending, whether they know it or not, they're spending every waking moment that they have on a project, on a goal, or on something they're trying to do. How can you fail if you're deciding not to sleep and you're spending your time fucking working on that album? Look at all the success stories, you know. It's people who applied every moment they had to their craft or to their career or to their whatever, and they succeeded. If I told you right now, I'm going to spend every waking moment of my life being a doctor, I'm probably going to be a doctor. It's almost impossible that I don't become one. If I spend every waking moment, if you said I'm going to spend every waking moment doing anything for the most part, the application is what we all miss, including myself. And so, yeah, the now is very important. The now is more important than the past and the present. But life forces us to think of the past and the present. And this is Tempest. This is why Tempest became an album. It's because me studying time and like what is the past, the present, the future, how these things matter, which one is important. And if you look at all the religions that I enjoy, specifically Eastern philosophy, they speak on the moment and how important it is. And like this applies to like this thought processing that I've had, or even like Be Here Now. Like people always mention that book to me. I haven't read it, but from what I understand, it has the same concept of what I'm speaking about. But like the now is all exists, and if anyone is able to capitalize on the now, they are able to create their future. I'm gonna break this down even more. Future episodes, but it's the now. There's nothing else exists. Your future doesn't exist. I cannot prove to you that the future exists. Right now, I can prove to you that I'm making a podcast. As far as my five senses can go, but obviously I can't fly, but I can do anything that's within my five senses, and this in itself is creating your reality. Now take that and expand it even more, and then you get a general understanding of what I mean by creating your reality. By controlling the now. If I spent every now from now on trying to become a clothing designer or a murderer or a doctor or a rapper, if I spent every second of my life on my rap career, I'd probably go further. If I spent every moment of my life on school or my relationship with my girlfriend or my friends, or all these things would progress. And this is the thing that people are missing, is because of life constraints, it forces us to dwell in the past. Oh my God, this happened to me. I fucking blah, blah, blah. And now I fucking suck. And then that affects our present, which directly affects our future. When all these moments are the same, the past are just moments or nows that have happened. The future are just nows that haven't happened. And so if you can start to look at it that way, instead of that these things are constructs that exist, they don't exist. No matter how much you want to believe your memories are real, if you can stop thinking of them as real and think of them as things that happen, but only this present now exists, you can change your reality. If a homeless man decides right now, even at those depths, I'm about to try and figure out with every second of my life how to stop being homeless, there's a high chance he's going to stop being homeless. And I mean this sensitively to whatever like things that people have to deal with, but yeah, this is the Underwater song. This is the beginning of Tempest. These are the lyrics. The Underwater lyrics are based on where I am now mentally. Shit ain't getting me high no more. You feel me? Shit ain't getting me high no more. I'm kind of over it all, you know? From life, drugs, weed, whatever. It's not getting me high no more. It's time for change. Time to move forward. It's time to grasp the moment and figure out who you are. I don't think you're destined to be anyone. I think you choose. You can choose right now. I'm about to do this. Just spend every moment doing that. I don't think we are destined to anything. I think the destiny is as powerful as the moment. But that's another podcast. But anyway, Overland Hills Podcast, episode 1. Goodbye. And love yourselves, love your family, love your parents. They're smarter than you. Love your significant others. They're probably smarter than you too. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.